Imagine a world where darkness rules half the year and light is a rare, precious thing. In 1418, life in England was shaped by the sun's rise and fall. No electricity, no streetlights, just the endless cycle of day and night. Winter brought long nights, biting cold, and a daily struggle for warmth and survival. People's routines, work, and even thoughts were shaped by the darkness. The world shrank to the small circle of firelight in a cottage, surrounded by the vast, cold night. Survival depended on practical knowledge passed down through generations, not technology. Life was about resilience, enduring the dark, not conquering it. Let's step into a winter morning in a small English village, where every day was a battle against the cold and the night. We'll see how ordinary people found warmth, light, and hope in a world without electricity. This is not a story of kings or battles, but of everyday endurance. It's about the power of community and the human spirit in the face of the long, cold night. Welcome to medieval England, where the darkness was a force to be reckoned with. In a medieval cottage, the day began with a shiver, not an alarm. Families huddled together on straw mattresses, the darkness thick and absolute. The first task revived the fire from last night's embers. Failure meant a cold, difficult morning. With skill and patience, the fire was coaxed back to life, its warmth pushing back the dark. The cottage was simple, wattle and daub walls, thatched roof, and tiny windows stuffed with straw. Breakfast was a thin porridge, cooked over the fire's flickering light. The hearth was the centre of life, its glow the only comfort against the winter chill. In these quiet moments, the fire was more than heat, it was survival. The hearth was the heart of the home, more than just a fireplace. Its warmth was vital. Everyone gravitated to its circle, especially the young and old. Smoke filled the cottage, stinging eyes, but preserving beams and keeping pests away. The fire was kitchen, heater and light source all in one. A cauldron simmered with pottage, grains, vegetables and rarely a scrap of meat. Bread baked in the ashes, and the fire's glow was the only light after sunset. Around the hearth, stories were told, songs sung, and bonds strengthened. The fire's flicker transformed the dark cottage into a place of warmth and community. In a world of shadows, the hearth was life itself. Every evening, families gathered here, finding comfort in the fire's embrace. Stepping outside meant facing a world of fog, mud, and bone-deep cold. The village was a cluster of cottages, church and manor, all shrouded in grey mist. No streetlights, just weak daylight, barely enough to see the next house. Paths were muddy tracks, navigated by memory and sound. A cow's low, a church bell, the smell of wood smoke. Winter's darkness shrank the world, isolating villages and making neighbours essential. People stayed close to home, relying on each other for help and company. The lack of light made community ties stronger. Your neighbours were your lifeline. In the long, dark months, survival was a shared effort. Winter didn't mean rest. Just different work, squeezed into short daylight hours. Farmers mended tools, tended livestock, and raced the setting sun. Indoors, tasks like sewing or spinning were done by the dim window light. As darkness fell, work stopped. Time was measured by the quality of light, not the clock. Rushlights, simple torches made from rushes and animal fat, offered a smoky, faint glow. Tallow candles were brighter, but smelled foul. Beeswax candles, rare and precious, were mostly for the church. Most families relied on the fire's flicker to see after sunset. Every bit of light was cherished, a small victory over the night. The struggle for light shaped every aspect of daily life. In winter, darkness dictated the rhythm of survival. Winter's hardships were felt differently by rich and poor. Peasants shivered in smoky cottages, while lords enjoyed warmth and light in stone manor houses. The manor's great hall boasted a roaring fire and dozens of candles, luxuries peasants could only imagine. The lord's forests supplied endless wood. Peasants gathered fallen branches. Meals in the manor were lavish, roasts, pies, fine bread, while peasants ate simple pottage. Even light was a symbol of status. Beeswax candles for the wealthy, rushlights for the poor. The darkness and cold were universal, but comfort was a privilege. In 1418, class divided not just wealth, but the very experience of winter. In a world ruled by darkness, light became a symbol of hope and faith. Every flame, hearth, rushlight, or candle was cherished, a daily triumph over the night. The church, filled with beeswax candles and coloured glass, was the village's brightest place. Festivals like Christmas and Yule celebrated light's return, uniting the community in defiance of winter. Stories and rituals revolved around the battle between light and dark, good and evil. The fire's glow was a shield against the unknown, a comfort in a world full of shadows. Lighting a candle was an act of faith, the promise that darkness would not last forever. In the heart of winter, light was life, hope, and the promise of spring. Survival in winter was a communal effort. No one could endure alone. Gathering firewood was a family task, often done in groups for safety and efficiency. Fire was both lifeline and threat. A stray spark could destroy the whole village. Neighbours watched out for each other, ready to help if disaster struck. If a family's fire went out, they could always borrow an ember from next door. Hard times brought the community together. Food and fuel were shared without question. The church was the village's heart, a place for warmth, ritual and connection. Winter's hardships forged strong bonds, turning neighbours into an extended family. The cold outside was met with warmth inside, of fire and of human connection. In the darkness, community was survival. As darkness swallowed the world outside, families gathered for the evening meal around the hearth. The day's work ended, replaced by stories, quiet tasks, and the comfort of togetherness. Elders shared tales and wisdom, passing on culture and hope by firelight. Simple chores, spinning, whittling filled the hours, the fire's crackle the soundtrack of the night. Finally, the fire was banked, embers covered with ash to last until morning. This nightly ritual was both practical and symbolic, preserving warmth and hope for another day. The embers' glow was a promise that the darkness would not win. In every cottage, this act was a testament to resilience and faith. The medieval night was long and cold, but never truly empty. In the heart of winter, warmth and light were found in the bonds of family and community. And so the story of survival continued, one ember, one dawn at a time.